and welcome to episode 14 of The Lonely Knitter. My name is Laura and I'm coming to you from Lowestoft in Suffolk in the UK. If you are a new viewer, then welcome and I hope you enjoy, and if you are a returning viewer, then thank you very much for coming back. Don't know if I've said what the date is. It is Sunday the 7th of October and I'm feeling a little frazzled, as I am most weeks. So please bear with me. As you may know if you've been watching for a little while, I haven't been doing this for crazily long and I don't really know what I'm doing. This is my knit night. So I am the Lonely Knitter because I have no real life knitting friends. I have started to make more friends on Instagram, which is lovely, but I don't have any knitting friends in real life. So I have no knitting group, I have no knit night, I have no one to talk to about all of the things that I make and finish and don't finish, and this is where I get that chance. So yeah, stick around. If you enjoy, then please do subscribe and like and comment if you fancy it. It helps me get more exposure on YouTube and it's really nice to connect with people. Sorry, it's quite cold in my house. It's just in general quite cold today, and I'm wearing a hoodie. Now I normally have my iPad not this, it's sat looking at me like this, and normally I have it sat looking at me like this, but then when I upload to YouTube I'm only in the centre of the screen. There's a big black space to both sides of me and I find that really annoying to look at. Like, I wouldn't want to watch a video that came up like that, so I'm trying to record with the iPad on its side, which means I don't get it as a good an angle when it's looking at me, and yeah, I just feel a little bit funny. And then what with my big hoodie as well, which is very big and baggy. I was a lot bigger when I first got this hoodie. I feel like I look like I've got a very little head on top of very big shoulders. I promise my head is not abnormally small. Yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna jump right in. The way I do things, I'll have a little admin section first. I do have a giveaway winner to announce, then I go through my finished objects, then my works in progress, and then I have a little chat about my life in general and what's been going on the last couple of weeks this time. It's normally a weekly podcast, but I have missed a week and I did forewarn that that would happen. So I will warn you when the knitting content is done and I'm going to start chatting about life, so if you'd like to leave there then you can. So first thing first is my giveaway winner. So I've been running a giveaway on my Ravelry group, but it is through the YouTube channel. Sorry for the rustling, there will be rustling. It's for a few things and it is now closed, and these things I have just drawn a winner before I started recording. So there is a large notions patch that I made myself. There is a Symphony short sock needle, which I did not like and thought, well, I'll just chuck it in the first giveaway I do. I didn't like it, hopefully someone else will get on with it. I have Knit Pro Zings in 2.5mm, 100cm cape length. These are my current favourite for knitting socks on. I have a hand-dyed skein of yarn from King Becky on Etsy, which has been in my stash for a while, hasn't had any love, and I'm not sure if it's going to have love, so that is going to a new owner who will hopefully love it. And a skein of Opal Classics, which has been living again in my stash for quite a while. I used to sell Opal yarns, I used to have a stall on craft fairs and a little website, and not anymore. That one has languished in my stash and not been loved. I have a set of stitch markers that I made, which include 5 snagless ring stitch markers and 1 dangly stitch marker, and then a green tea, salted caramel green tea tea bag, which I'm trying new teas and trying to find ones that I like, and I've already tried that one and I'm not keen, so I got given another one, so that is going in there. So all those goodies are going to one winner. And before I sat down to record, my voice is really ugh. Before I sat down to record, I drew a winner, and I did a random number generator, and I got, my post was the first post, and there was 28 posts in total, so I did it from 2 to 28, and the winner was number 13, which is, I wrote it down, on Ravelry, name HDH74, which is Heather from West Yorkshire. So congratulations, Heather. I am not going to announce this anywhere other than here on my YouTube channel, so hopefully you will see this. If not, I'm going to give you at least a couple of weeks before I redraw, and I will redraw. I want it to be for someone who is a viewer, and I did put that in the original everything that I've put out there, that I do want it to be go to a viewer. So I'm going to give you a few weeks to, it might even be a month, because my wedding is in 20 days, so I might even give you a month, and after I'm back from my honeymoon, then you if you haven't got back to me then I'll sort it out. But otherwise, if you could contact me on Ravelry would be the best place, and I'm Laura Robertson, and obviously you did enter in the Ravelry thread, so if you just go to the first poster, which is me, you can click on me and then message me through there. And yeah, and I'd love to get those things posted out to you and out of my house, which is full of stuff. So please do get in touch with me, Heather from West Yorkshire, HDH74 on Ravelry. And I thought I'd just read out Heather's recommendation. So it was a recommendation thread, so all you had to do was recommend me something. It could be yarn, it could be a podcast, it could be anything you like. I even went, you know, it doesn't have to be yarny, it could be anything in the world. Just recommend me something. So Heather said, for learning new techniques or brushing up on any and improving them, I can't think of anyone better than the wonderful Very Pink on Ravelry and her podcast Very Pink Knits on YouTube. She gives the clearest, most fantastic tutorials, and I have learned so many things I was struggling with from her podcasts. So thank you very much, Heather. I haven't checked out Very Pink Knits yet, and I definitely will. I'm always looking for more podcasts. I do have quite a long list of ones that I watch, and I currently only have one that I haven't seen, one episode of someone that I haven't seen that they've just put up today. So I can definitely fit more in. So I will definitely have a look. Thank you very much for recommending and joining in the giveaway, and just in general being part of the little community that is slowly joining in and loving it. Anyway, so that was my one bit of admin, and I'm going to move on to finished objects. So I have some finished objects, yay! The first thing that I finished in the last 2 weeks, because it has been 2 weeks, not one, is a Spa Day face cloth. So here we go. I showed this yarn in my stash enhancement a few weeks ago from Hobbycraft. It is just sugar and cream, I think it was called. Cotton. It's nothing special, and very, very pink. This is probably going to be for my little girl, because we don't have any knitted washcloths or face cloths or anything. So this one's going to replace one of her manky flannels and go with her for bath time. So first one in the house, and I definitely want more. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, Spa Day face cloth by, and I'm probably going to butcher this, Anne Mancine, M-A-N-C-I-N-E. I'm probably saying it wrong. And yeah, it's a free pattern. It's really simple and really nice, and I'm actually knitting another one. So, but it's very big, I think, for a face cloth, because this is my face in the top quarter. So I think that's quite big. I like it a lot, but for a little toddler, I could probably go a little bit smaller maybe. Anyway, so that was my first finished object. My next finished object is the Autumn Chill hat by Ashley McKeever, or Comfy Cozy Knits on Ravelry, and I saw this on the Knitted Pumpkins Instagram. She test knit it, and I thought, oh my gosh, I love that hat. So I went onto the Ravelry group, and they were still open for test knitters, so I volunteered and got the pattern and knit it up just for some. This is acrylic. This is I used it for, I can't remember what it's called, I think it's a Sadar yarn, and it is just leftovers that I had from knitting my daughter a cardigan. So I have enough left to also scale the pattern right down and make a little hat for her too, to match her cardigan. So we'll have matching hats probably this winter, but I've got my hair up, so it'll look really rubbish on me. But yeah, it's really warm, it's really comfy, it's got a little bit of slouch, so I can pull it right down right over my ears. And also, like, it's going to look wrong because my hair's up, but also have it like a little bit like that if I wanted. But yeah, new hat. I'm keeping this, and I really like it, and I think it would be good for men as well in like a dark brown. Might be nice for my granddad, and maybe even in black or a dark grey for my dad. So maybe for Christmas knits this year I might make a couple of these. So yeah, really like this pattern from Ashley and Ashley McKee by Comfy Cozy Knits. It's the Autumn Chill hat on Ravelry, and it is a paid for pattern now. It's now released, and I would recommend it to anyone because it knit up quite fast for me. I mean, I don't know, I might knit quite slow compared to other people. It took me about 4.5 hours, but bearing in mind that was with a toddler, so I knit on the go, like whenever she's doing things, but we are playing and doing stuff most of the time. So then in the evening, when she's having a little bit of a chill out time and calming down before going to bed, I will then pick up my knitting, and she'll probably want to come and sit with me. Sometimes she wants to come and do knitting with me, where she holds the needles and just clacks them about, and I lose half my stitches. So it took me 4.5 hours with a toddler, but yeah, pretty happy with that. So second finished object, and my third finished object I haven't done the finishing on. I'm okay with that. I count a finished object to be a finished object when all the knitting is done, and I stand there and go, yay, finished, and then I'll come back to it sometimes ages later and put on the buttons and weave in my ends, and then I have a second little party of yay, it's really done. So I'm counting it as a knitted finished object right now, and I'm claiming it because it probably won't get seen again on the podcast because it will be gifted. So a family member had a baby. This will not fit them for a while. I think this is a newborn size, and this baby was born quite a few weeks early and still in hospital now, born well over a week ago. And yeah, it's a family baby, and I've got other things made for it, and I have a blanket that is probably a third of the way done, maybe a quarter. I need to really get on that, but it's probably going to be after the wedding because I've just got so much to do. So yeah, it is the, now I'm going to butcher this as well because I have not looked up how to say it. Purpurium cardigan, P-U-E-R-P-E-R-I-U-M, sorry, cardigan by Kelly Brooker. It says Kelly Brooker on the pattern when I downloaded it. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, but her name is different on Ravelry, like when you click on the actual pattern, but then when you download the pattern and open it up, it says Kelly Brooker on the actual PDF. You'll find it under P-U-E-R-P-E-R-I-U-M cardigan. Purpurium. Sorry. Anyway, so in the pattern it's done all in one colour, and I striped and I used Bellissima DK. It is an acrylic yarn. I do not often knit in anything other than acrylic for people who have, for babies, when their parents are not knitters. If I knit for someone whose parent was a knitter and who understood about washing, hand washing, and even then I'm like, you've got a little baby, do you need to be hand washing their clothes? Unless it's a knitter who would really appreciate something that was not acrylic and think, wow, I'd love the chance to have that and hand wash it, I would knit in acrylic for them. So it looks a bit crinkly, it needs to be blocked. It hasn't been blocked, I've just held it together with safety pins down there for now, so that's where the buttons go, so that's why it's gaping and looks a bit funny. I need to block it so the bottom band stays flat, and I knit it in this tealy colour and the green. It's like, it looks coming up really blue on the screen, but in real life it feels more teal. And yeah, that's all done. All knitted, just needs finishing. So 3 finished objects this week, but they are all little. That is fine with me. I'm all up for a bit of instant gratification, that's for sure. So moving on to whips. When I started at the beginning of the podcast, you may have seen me knitting. I am knitting on my Floozy cardigan. It is a Truly Myrtle Designs, that's Libby Johnson, and it is a beautiful cardigan. And right now it's not taking barely any concentration because it is just the knit-a-row, knit-a-row until I get to the end of where I want the body to be. But I'm not knitting on it. I have knitted on it a bit this week. I knit on it whilst blindfolded on my way to my hen do, because it's just knitting and purling, and knit on it a little bit in the car and things like that, but nothing major. My monster socks have had no love whatsoever, which is awful. But yeah, this is the Fleecy cardigan by Libby Johnson. I'm knitting it on Knit Pro Symphony needles, and I am just working my way down the body. I haven't got a progress keeper in this week, as I pinched it for something else at one point while I was away. But it is very, very slowly marching on, and I really can't wait for it to be done. That's where we're sort of at right now. This is the back anyway, but it does need a little bit more love and attention, but it's such a lovely, lovely, pretty cardigan. I don't mind picking it up whenever. The main reason that I have not really worked on the Floozy is I started a few new projects. So after the Spa Day face cloth, which I really enjoyed, I wanted to make another one, and then I thought I might make some and put them in my bridesmaids little things that I'm doing for them for our wedding. They don't watch this podcast, so they won't see this and find out. So I'm making a couple more Spa Day face cloths, but I'm making them smaller this time because as I thought before that the pink one was really massive, I decided to make a couple of slightly smaller ones. They are quite bunched up on the needles, but they're still going to be a bit wider than that because they're a bit bunched up. And these I'm knitting on these little Knit Pro Symphonies, these little shorties that I really, really liked, that are actually to use in the baby that I have part knit a blanket for. I bought them for that. There's 4mm needles, because I'm making a little mited square blanket, but it's not a scrappy one. I don't know what happened there, but my iPad just cut out. I'll just adjust you a little bit. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Sorry, I'm not going to cut that out because this is already going to be more editing than I want any podcast to ever be, because I'm now going to have to put two clips together. I have literally no idea what just happened. I was happily videoing, chattering away to you, and it just turned itself off and went black, and then I looked and it started and it stopped the video. I was like, and why? Went on the storage and it says I've got like 20 gig of storage left in my iPad, so what you doing, iPad? Really? Anyway, so I was just talking about this Spa Day face cloth. I bought this cotton this week. I'm not doing a stash enhancement section this week because I really haven't bought anything apart from the Bellissima yarn that I did that cardigan with, and this cotton and some sock yarn which is upstairs, which is like really cheap acrylic, really cheap, not acrylic, commercial yarn that I've got some more of already, and I just bought it because I was like, oh, that's a good deal, and I'm going to put it in a swap package, so I don't want to show it to you. So, but yeah, I've got some green and some cream, and I'm just going to do, I reckon I can get at least two face cloths, maybe 3 out of this, because I made the face cloth smaller, but there'll be at least enough to make 3, and that's how many bridesmaids I have. Might make one for my mum as well. Not sure if she'd use it, but we'll see. So that started, that hasn't really gone anywhere because it's quite a boring knit when I've got some major other crafty stuff going on in my life right now. First thing is a crochet, crochet blanket. Now, I'm not a crocheter, I'm really not. I mean, I've crocheted all my wedding flowers along with help from one of my bridesmaids, major help from one of my bridesmaids, and sometimes I see something that's crocheted and I'm like, oh, I love that, and I have to crochet it, but it doesn't happen very often, and I never remember the terms, and it just doesn't happen. But I saw a post by Jilly Makes on Instagram, and it was about a scrappy blanket, and it's a crochet blanket, and it looked amazing, and I was like, oh, so pretty, and I followed her tag to, sorry, my legs are literally on a leather chair, squeaky. I followed the tag to Coastal Crochet on Instagram, which is Eleanor Tully, and I loved this blanket. And basically she did a mystery crochet along where twice a week she would post 2 rows, and you would crochet those 2 rows and wait, and then the next few would come out, crochet 2 rows and you use it up all these scraps until you had this blanket. And it started in January and it has just finished. I don't want to pull my work out, so I'm just seeing where my yarn is because my crochet hook's fallen out. So yeah, I started in January, and I think I might have already actually pulled out my work. Oh no, it's here. It started in January. It has now just finished, I believe. She was posting pictures of her finished blanket. So I'm not spoiling anything for anyone, hopefully, because I'm right at the beginning. But if you want to start this and you don't want to see anything, well, no, because she shows you pictures every week. And it's all over her Instagram, so I don't think there's any way this can be a spoiler. But basically, I have a ton of acrylic, soft, nice acrylic. It's not horrible, it's Stylecraft, it's not scratchy. I mean, it might be scratchy to wear it as a jumper maybe, but it feels soft in a blanket. And I have so much of this in my house, it is outrageous, because I have been knitting since I was about 5, and acrylic was all I could afford when you had a couple of quid pocket money a week. And back then, the Stylecraft acrylic would be £1 a ball, sometimes £1.10, but every week I would have enough to buy 2 balls. So I didn't buy it every single week, but I grew a stash as a child, and it's continued as an adult. Even though I do love hand-dyed yarns and I love natural fibres, when it comes to making toys and making things for my little girl, clothes, I do go for more expensive acrylic yarns, and sometimes natural fibres, but I do like acrylic for her clothes because I like to just run them in the machine. But this is made from all the, what I call toy yarn, because I made a lot of Jean Greenhow patterns and things like that for my little girl. So this is where I am. I think I've done quite a lot. I am a very slow crocheter. I am not a crocheter, I am a knitter. I do have that belief that sometimes you're you're only a crocheter or you're a knitter, you're not both. I am a knitter who can crochet, but I would never say I'm a knitter and a crocheter, because knitting comes so naturally to me and I can do it without thinking, and I know what all the stitches are, and if I don't know something, I can pick it up incredibly quickly. With crochet, it is always a struggle for me. I am not a crocheter, I'm a knitter who sometimes crochets, and I crochet wrong. So I shared this on my Instagram the other day, and a couple of people were like, oh, it's fine, it doesn't matter as long as you come out with the same thing, and that is fine. But when I have been hanging around people who are crocheters, like my friend Jade, who is one of my bridesmaids, she is an actual crocheter, and she doesn't knit, and because I don't have any knitting friends in real life. And she laughs at me because she says I crochet like I knit, because I hold the work in one hand, like one knitting needle, and the hook in the other hand, like another knitting needle, and then I wind the yarn around like that, and I go in like that, and I wind it around like that, and I come out like that. So I crochet as if I'm knitting. Anyway, so I can't remember what row I'm on, but it's about to create these amazing shell pattern, which I really like. And yeah, I'm just using all of my scraps, and there's a little bit of me that's like, maybe I could be finished in time for my wedding, and this could be my toddler's present. She's actually already got a few little presents that she's going to have on the table, but I thought maybe she could have a crocheted blanket. It'll be big enough to go on a single bed, I think. Definitely on a toddler bed by tons when she moves up from cot to toddler bed. But it'll be really colourful, and it'll have loads of different yarns, and I've bought nothing for this. Everything's in the house, and I've got tons and tons more. And so it's a real stash buster, but I just love it. So beautiful, and I'm not sure I'll get it finished for the wedding, but she'll definitely have it on her bed at some point. So yeah, Coastal Crochet on Instagram. You can just go back through her posts and one by one complete each clue, and I'll complete 2 rows, and then in the end you'll have a gorgeous scrappy blanket. So that came over the last week or 2, and knitting fell by the wayside for a little while I discovered a little love of crochet. I did develop a bit of a claw, so by the end of like a few days my hand was like this, and I was like, ow. And even the last couple of days I've been knitting actually, and the knitting I've been doing, that has caused me a pain that's sort of around this bit of my hand. So I might look at, and not sort of more my wrist than my hand, but I might look at a wrist support, possibly. They're ugly and I don't want to, but it's been really painful, especially here, and I don't want to get any kind of anything. I'm a knitter, I need to knit every day, multiple times a day, so can't have it. And the last thing that I have been knitting on is Stephen West's Texture Time MCAL. So this is a mystery knit along. If you are taking part in Texture Time, Stephen West's current mystery knit along, I am going to be showing my project in a minute. I will warn you before I lift it up. I will do my best not to say anything specific about the pattern. I might say one thing, but if I do, I'll tell you to skip ahead like 10 seconds and then I'll say it and then I'll not say it again. So I've never ever done a Miss Junior Salon before, and I've never knit a Stephen West pattern before. So I'm jumping in with both, and the first clue came out on Friday. It's now Sunday. On Friday I didn't even have my yarn caked up, and I had planned to do that while my little girl knit on the Friday, while my little girl slept on the Friday when she had a nap. But my friend wasn't very well, one of my bridesmaids wasn't very well, and she came around for the day, and then we went out, and then it was all, I'll tell you about it at the end, but it was all a bit of a hoo-ha with my little girl not sleeping when she was meant to in the evening. So I left it thinking I was going to do it in the evening, and then all I managed to do in the evening was cake up my yarn. So I'm going to show you my yarn. You have to have, or his pattern calls for a few different yarns, and you can have different choices. So it's like sock weight yarns. This is the first one I chose, which is an East of 3 yarn, sock yarn, and it's pink with loads and loads of little speckles in there. Next I have Hogsmeade Station colourway from the Bakery Bears yarns. There is sparkle in there, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it. And I love this. This was really hard for me to cake up because it's so beautiful, and I was really sad that I wouldn't have it in my stash anymore. But then I was like, no, come on, this is silly. You have to actually use yarn, otherwise what's the point in buying it? Next one is another Bakery Bears yarn. This is all of my Bakery Bears stash already knit. I don't have any full skeins now because I'm using or have used it all. So this is Water Sprite Bakery Bears yarn. I think it's I think it is the only Bakery Bears yarn that I have bought, apart from maybe a mini skein set that might have had some without sparkle, but without sparkle. My only full skein without sparkle. I think I've had 4. I'm not sure. 3? No. But this one, I just love it. I was going to use this for fingerless mitts, and a little bit of me still regrets that because I really want some fingerless mitts right now, but I'm realistically not going to get to use them anytime soon. This is Family Tree Yarns, and I think the colour on this one is Twilight, because I bought 2 quite similar, and I was going to use them both and not use the Water Sprites, but then I thought they're too similar and you might not be able to differentiate, so I just used this one. The other one I got was Edinburgh Tattoo, but this one I'm pretty sure is the Twilight. And then Stephen West's pattern calls for Ching, I don't know, it's a brand, melted suri, and you get 2 skeins of that and use it, and they're like 50 gram skeins, I think. Or you can use mohair, and you can double it up if you want to, or you can just go for 1 strand. And I was like, I don't want to buy much more yarn, and I did buy this for this project, but I didn't want to buy much more because I'm really tight on money, what with the wedding. So I bought 1, and I am using it single, and it's lovely, so that's fine. And it's so fluffy. This is my first time using mohair in a long time. I used Kid Silk Haze back in the day when that first all went crazy, but I haven't since. Yeah, it's very, very fluffy. When I was winding it up, it was like on the ball winder was going round, and it was like fluffing up in my face. It was like it was really funny. Anyway, so those are my yarns, and I'm going to show you my project. So I am on clue 1, and I am more than 2/3 through. I didn't do any of the knitting on the Friday because I was winding. I started knitting on the Saturday, but had my toddler, so didn't knit loads. And then when she finally went to bed on the Saturday night, I just knit for 3 straight hours before he went to bed, and it was lovely. And I watched his live at the same time, which was quite nice to knit his pattern and watch his live. He is awesome. Anyway, so I am going to, I flashed it. I hope you didn't see, but I'm not going to cut this out. Maybe I'll try and stick something over it. I didn't mean to. Anyway, so spoilers people. I am going to show the pattern. I'm going to say one thing, and it's going to take me, no, right, I'm looking at my clock. It's going to take me no more than 15 seconds, so tune out for 15 seconds. I'm going to say one thing. There's a brioche thing you can do, because he likes brioche, but he provides a non-brioche option. I've never knit brioche, so I'm doing that. That's all I was going to say. So 15 seconds has passed. That one little thing that I was going to say, I have now said. Doesn't specifically really affect the pattern. like what you think in your head, because he does that all the time, does things like that all the time. So anyway, I'm going to show it now. So look away and I will tell you when it's safe to look back, and I will try not to say anything specific about the pattern. So look away now. So this is clue 1, and he has you do this with all of these. I have no idea what he is going to have planned for the end with all these, and I don't almost like doing this because it feels like a waste, but we'll see. And look at these that it creates. You. And I just love how my colours are interacting with each other and how it's kind of moody, and oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I literally have no idea what is going to happen, and when I finish this I'm just totally baffled, no idea, but I cannot wait to wear it because the colours are just, I just love them together, and I didn't think they would interact this well together. So this is my part of clue 1, that probably actually about 3/4 of the way through. I'm really plowing through. Anyway, put it down. Right, for those of you who had covered your eyes, if there are any of you, I have put my project away. There is no more spoiler. It's done. Anyway, so I'm really enjoying knitting it. One thing I will say is that this pattern's really clear. I know he's an experienced pattern designer, so really I shouldn't expect any less, but it's really clear and really easy to do. I'm really happy. And I can't wait to finish this clue. I'm not going to knit on it again tonight because I'm so tired, but hopefully, and I won't knit on it tomorrow night because I'm working until 10:30. And I won't knit on it on Tuesday night because it's my 1 week out of every 4 where I'm working until 10:30 on the Tuesday as well. But I'm hoping to be back to it and crack through some on Wednesday night and Thursday night, and then next Friday when the next clue comes out, hopefully I will have well and truly finished the first one. I do my best. I'll try and grab a few rows in my lunch breaks or my dinner breaks as well at work. So those are my whips. That's all my knitting. I don't want to drag on for too long tonight because I'm really tired and it's already 10 to 10, but I am just going to give 5 minutes of talking about life in general. So if you don't want to hear about what's been going on in my life this week, that is absolutely fine. The knitting is done and you can go. Thank you so much for joining me all the way through this, and sorry about the little stop in the middle. And yeah, please do subscribe if you want to see more. I definitely will be doing another giveaway in the future. I'm going to do a Christmas themed one. I've got a couple of things already that I'm going to use, and I will also be doing another update of my Etsy shop at some point, hopefully before my wedding. I had hoped to get some bags sewn up this weekend and it didn't happen, but they are all cut out and ready to be sewn. So if you are leaving me, thank you very much, goodbye, and yeah, I'll see you next time hopefully. If you're not leaving me, thanks, yay! In the last 2 weeks I was taken on my hen do and I didn't know what I was going to do, and we went to Centre Parks, which is so cool because it was the one place that I thought we weren't going because we couldn't afford it because the prices were really expensive for that weekend. But my mum came and my auntie and my cousin. My auntie and my cousin came all the way from County Durham and from North Yorkshire, and my friends, my bridesmaids came, and then on the Saturday a few of my friends came for the day, and yeah, 3 of my friends came extra for the day, and then there was my other 3 bridesmaids here the whole weekend. It was so good. It was really good. We did segways and swimming and went down the rapids loads at Centre Parks, and we did a garter making like little workshop that they set up themselves, which was really good because I love anything sewing and crafty. I made 2 garters, and it was a Disney themed hen do because I do love Disney, and I had Minnie Mouses. They're here actually. Minnie Mouses with a veil attached, which I'm not gonna lie was kind of super cool. And now that my hen do's done, I like really feel like I need to walk around the house wearing these because they're really cute. It's not my hen do anymore. I'm just so, I feel like I've been waiting for it forever, and now it's finished and done. But I had a brilliant time. It was really, really good. Absolutely brilliant. Really chilled out. I did tons of my crochet blanket because no toddler. And they all know me, so apart from the odd eye roll from my mum, they all totally expected me to be knitting and crocheting the entire time. And came back, had a week of work. That was quite hard because I came back from Centre Parks and I got dropped at home at 12:45 on the Monday. Literally went for a wee, put some food in a box for my dinner and put my uniform on and went to work 1:30 till 10:30. But at Centre Parks I wasn't sleeping, and I don't know if it was just because it was a different bed or if it was because I was a bit stressed about wedding things, because it all was all of a sudden coming up very quickly. Like when I'm like, oh, it's 5 weeks, it's 4 weeks, like ages, and then all of a sudden I was like, it's 4 weeks, it's less than 4 weeks, oh my gosh, it's less than 4 weeks, oh my gosh, it's less than a month, oh my gosh, and just I had a slight minor panic and wasn't sleeping, so I was going to bed at 1, 2 in the morning every day, and then waking up 5:45, 6 o'clock, and normally I have 8 hours sleep, and I'm an 8 hour sleep sort of person. It just wasn't happening. I was up and couldn't sleep, but felt tired still. It was horrible, and I still feel that way now. I've been having really bad nightmares about my wedding going really nastily, really horribly, and just being ruined. And I'm not sleeping, so it's good for my knitting and crochet life because more's getting done because I'm awake. But I just wish I felt more rested because it's just very tiring. Anyway, so I had that week, and then this week, and it's Sunday now, Chris got back this afternoon from his stag do. He was whisked away to Manchester. I booked him the Friday off of work quite a long time ago, without him knowing, and they told him last weekend when I was on my hen do, they all came around and they told him where he was going. I'm going to take this off because they told him where he was going, and they came and took him on Friday first thing in the morning. And my friend wasn't very well, she stayed with me for the day. And then we all went out for my other friend's birthday in the evening, and the toddler, my little Ellie, was very well behaved. And well, apart from when she then started to scream at my friend, like it was like a game, it was like but it was higher pitched and louder than that. But she was fine. For a toddler at that time, she was having a late dinner in a restaurant. Like, I think she did well for what she did. Anyway. So then we had to drive my friend back to Norwich, which is a good sort of 40-minute drive from where I live, and back again. She slept in the car, got home, woke up, I was changing her nappy and putting her to bed. She was having none of it. I put her to bed, she just screamed. I am not the sort of person that I can't let her scream herself to sleep. I can't do it. It makes me feel ill almost. I feel so stressed and so horrible, and I don't want her to ever go to sleep thinking that I don't care. So yeah, I struggle with letting her cry herself to sleep, and also she works herself up to the point where she starts to cough because she's screaming so much, and then she throws up. And she's got a nasty cold, so we did get a nasty phlegm come up rather than a full-on sick. But then she gets really distressed, and she coughs more. Anyway, so I left her to cry for a couple of minutes thinking, come on, you can do it, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. And then she started coughing and then making the retching noise, and I was done. So every time I tried to put her up, I got the same reaction. When I tried to lay with her in our bed and get her to go to sleep, I got the same reaction plus hitting me in the face. I don't know what was up with her. She has got a really nasty cold, like to the point where she can't breathe through her mouth and pouring snot right now. And she barely ever has that sort of thing. So I think it's probably that. But yeah, it was awful. In the end, she did not go to sleep until midnight. I tried everything. I don't know what I was doing wrong. She just would have none of it. I don't know if it was because Chris wasn't here and she is most comfortable when both of us are in the house, or every time I went with her into her room, she started screaming like there was something in there she was scared of. I tried it with the light on, I tried it with the light off, I tried it with the little night light on, I tried it with the hall light on and off, and it just none of it worked. And in the end I had to wait until she fell asleep of exhaustion downstairs. Then I took her up and she stayed, and it was fine. She still went to bed at 12 and woke up at 6, so she was exhausted the next day as well. And then last night, the Saturday night, I finally, that's why on the Friday I didn't knit anything. I just managed to get some stuff wound up while she finally started to doze on the sofa, and that was it. And then Saturday night, she went to sleep, but I had to lay with her for an hour in our bed before she would go. She didn't hit me or scream at me, she would lay with me, but she was just sitting there and chattering at me, so I was just going, shh, go to sleep. She finally went to bed at 9:15, and then I did sit up until 1 and just knit and knit and knit and watched the first 2 episodes of American Horror Story Apocalypse, because they've recorded. They've just come out here, and so I watched those 2, and I watched the first 3 episodes, which is everything that's on my Skybox so far, of A Discovery of Witches, which looks quite good as well. I was enjoying that. And yeah, they're just things that Chris wouldn't want to watch. Tonight I have missed the first episode of the new series of Doctor Who with the female doctor. We'll see how that goes. I've recorded it, so I will watch it at some point, probably tomorrow morning, if she has her nap. But excited for that. I love Doctor Who, absolutely love it. I always loved Doctor Who. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. I was really struck down last time I podcasted with like almost a flu-y cold. That is still lingering. I'm still having to blow quite a bit of snot out, but it is a lot better. And I went through a horrible flu-y stage where I was going to bed early, I was having a hot bath first, and I was tucked up in bed with like 2 hot water bottles and 3 blankets on top of the duvet. And then poor Chris got it just before he went on his stag do, and we've just been dosing up on Sudafed and Lemsips and everything we can. And yeah, we've got through it. So now Ellie's got it by the looks of it, which is awful. I think she was the one that gave it to us in the first place, and it's all come back round. But yeah, that's life this last couple of weeks. And then a couple of days ago, I really started to panic because I've not been sleeping. I'm really worried about the wedding, and Chris is a big procrastinator. I'm a big procrastinator too, but when it comes to a couple of weeks before, I usually go, right, come on, and do loads of things. I've got my, it's got show notes in it as well, but I've got my list pad, and I put everything on it and tick it off and cross them off when they're done. But he isn't like that. He is a night before kind of person, and it stresses me out. And he knows it stresses me out, and he is trying to not stress me out. So I made 4 giant lists, 4 giant pages worth of lists for wedding stuff that needed doing this weekend. And then I have been slowly ticking a few things off, and then tonight we've done loads of things. And so the knitting is going to fall by the wayside a little bit. Maybe the Floozy cardigan will get more work done on it, because it's a lot of just plain knit and plain purl, so I won't have to worry about a pattern from until I'm ready, done with the body. So just crack on with that. So I will podcast next week, but it might be a short one because I don't know how much work I'm going to have got done. There'll be no stash enhancement because I'm so poor because of our wedding, because of all the things we're buying this month. I bought a lot of things throughout the last year and a half. It wasn't enough, but that's fine because I'm so glad I did buy those things, otherwise I'd have all those to buy as well. But it's taken all of our money. All my yarn money is gone. I get paid the day before our wedding, and then the Yarnporium is the weekend after our wedding, and I'm hoping to go, and then I will have stash enhancement. But until that happens, I repeat, not buying any yarn for myself. I have a couple of swaps I'm taking part in. They are the only things I am allowed to purchase anything for. Exactly. So I'm going to go. I don't know if I said this at the beginning, but we've hit 97 subscribers on YouTube. I know that for some people, 97 subscribers is not a lot. For me, that is nearly 100, and I am, well, not for me it's nearly 100, for everyone it's nearly 100, but for me to have nearly 100 is like, oh my gosh, 97 people clicked subscribe, whether or not they watch. 97 people clicked subscribe. That's a big deal for me anyway. So thanks so much if you're one of those. I really appreciate it. You do not know what a buzz I get every time someone subscribes. I get a notification and I'm like, oh. But yeah, come and find me on Instagram as The Lonely Knitter, and on Ravelry as Laura Robertson, and in the Ravelry group, the Lonely Knitter podcast group. I will be launching another giveaway soon, but before, until then, there's the introductions group on there, thread on there, and yeah, come over because I'm really enjoying being part of this community. It's really fun. And I'm so glad I've done a podcast this week, because missing 1 week, this is like therapy for me, being able to talk about my knitting. Anyway, I'm going to go because it's getting late, and I will try and push those 2 clips together and post them tomorrow. And yeah, thank you so much if you've got all the way through with me and watched. Really appreciate it. and I'm gonna go, and I will see you in a week, and by then it will be less than 2 weeks to my wedding, and I will be in full panic mode. Anyway, thanks guys, bye.